in difficult situations, Pisces are usually really know what to do. They don't just kill themselves like other signs. If you don't respond to something, that cannot affect you. But if you choose to respond, then you're in it.
People are being taught that you can just say that you're successful or say you're the boss, when in reality it takes years and years and years of hard work to become the boss.
This world, I feel like, tries to mold all of these things and just make us equal, but we're not at the end of the day.
I don't think therapy is good for guys in 99% of cases.
The value of life is because there is death. Because, there is no light without darkness. There is no good without bad. You need everything to compare, right? That's just like the base of philosophy and just base of life. So if you don't have death, do you value your life? No. Whatever you're wanting already exists. If it exists in your mind, it exists in a parallel universe, right? So when you manifest things, you just bring them from there to here.
When people describe manifestation, they describe two different things that I think are very different processes. One is you think about it and then the universe drops a magical opportunity on your head and it works out, right? And the other is like, okay, I get motivated and then I do all the steps needed to achieve my goal, and then I achieve my goal.
There is always a sexual attraction between people, right? So if it's a man and a woman, there is always that in there somewhere. Nothing might ever happen between them because their morals or they're married or whatever the case may be, but there's still basically somebody's trying to steal us.
Welcome to Unattainable. Glad to have you with us. I'm your host, Zach Evans, and first of all, thank you to all of our listeners. We've been getting a ton of growth and engagement over the last couple months, and we got to thank you guys for that. Today, we got a special guest on the show. This is Anastasia. Anastasia, please go ahead, introduce yourself to the audience, name, what you do, and your zodiac sign.
Hi, I'm Anastasia Novosilova. I'm a model and influencer, and I am Aries, Libra rising, and a Cancer moon.
Aries. Birthday's coming up.
Yep.
I've had a couple experiences with Aries.
How's that?
You're not going to like it. Very fun, but
sure.
They never end well for me.
Oh, what's your sign?
Pisces. The best one.
Oh.
Proven by science. Yeah.
Oh.
Numerous studies, according
Right.
to ilovepisces.com.
Oh, yeah, of course. That makes sense. Do you know your rising?
Leo.
Leo rising.
I identify as a Leo, though. Pisces, they're
crybabies,
Crybabies.
Considered the strongest out of all zodiac signs sometimes.
Pisces are?
Yeah.
Really?
Because in difficult situations, Pisces are usually really know what to do. They don't just kill themselves like other signs.
All right, I got to hang out with you more. You're pumping my ego up. Aries are bad for my mental health, I think. Yeah.
Really? How's that?
I think toxic is the word that comes to mind.
I mean, can be for sure.
Do you have any toxic relationships in your past?
Yeah. Was I toxic in those relationships? I mean, I would like to think that I wasn't, but I definitely was, for sure.
Okay. And the guys were toxic too, I'm assuming.
Yeah, when the relationship is codependent and there's certain situations involved, I do believe that it's both people that get entangled in that whole energy. You can't just, if you don't respond to something, that cannot affect you. But if you choose to respond, then you're in it.
By the way, I don't judge. I was very toxic back in my villain era. Now I'm very shy and romantic, but back in my fuckboy days, I was very toxic.
Amazing. Well, I'm glad you passed that.
But not like these amateur Gen Z fuckboys that are running around nowadays. I was a professional,
The OG, gotcha.
The OG, yeah. So Anastasia, what's your type? Let's go looks first, physical.
Looks. That's the thing. Throughout the years, I think it changed so much that I don't think I have a type anymore.
Don't lie to me.
Oh, no, not at all. Seriously, I don't think there is a physical type anymore.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's more of well, there's a few things, but it's more of mental connection definitely needs to be there. The person definitely needs to be intelligent enough for me to click. It doesn't happen that often. And I'm not saying men are not intelligent. I know some very smart men, but just not, sometimes it just doesn't work. And I do believe that a man needs to be really successful. And not only because, oh, I'm a gold digger and I want to take all of your money. I mean, that would be great, but no, not necessarily. But it's just, I'm Russian. So I do believe that if a man is not successful enough to provide for the level that I would like to see myself at, right? I do take men as a provider for sure. I don't believe in that, all that 50-50 stuff. If he's not capable to do that, he's not going to feel as a man. And that's going to really hurt his ego and hurt his self-esteem. And at the end of the day, just not going to work out.
The problem nowadays is everybody is being told on TikTok and Instagram and everything, oh yeah, you're a boss, right? Girls are being taught, be like Beyonce, you're a boss, you're a bad no matter what. Guys watch 3 Andrew Tate videos, you know, and they're like, I am the alpha, you know, and I'm like, what are you the alpha of? The Wendy's that you're cashier at? Are you the alpha of that? What are you the alpha of your video game team? Like, who are you the alpha of, you know? And the problem is people are being taught that you can just say that you're successful or say you're the boss, when in reality, it takes years and years and years of hard work to become the boss.
100%.
And because of that, I find that a lot of girls find themselves in situations where the guy isn't taking the previous masculine role. And because of that, what ends up happening is the girl fills the void and kind of starts taking the masculine role. And then the guy feels emasculated, but he doesn't even really understand why he feels that way. He just feels kind of pissed off. And then he gets mad at the girl for being too dominant, when in reality, it's because the man wasn't filling that void. So somebody has to fill it.
I do agree with you. And I do think that happens a lot of the times. But I also believe that sometimes women, the feminism took it a little bit too far and too wrong, in my opinion, in this country, right? So I do believe, I mean, feminism initially was what about equal pay, right? At work. It was not about, oh yeah, I pay 50% of the cable bill and you pay another 50.
You're like, what the f***? We had it good.
Well, right. That's exactly how I think. I mean, there are certain things that weren't maybe that good. And a lot of people are going to judge me right now, but I truly believe that if the gender roles are all mixed up like they are now, the relationship is not going to be successful, because what happens is man doesn't feel like a man and a woman doesn't feel like a woman, because she's trying to be a man and she's not happy in that masculine energy. So she's in her toxic masculine and the man falls into his toxic feminine. And then it's just nobody's happy in that type of relationship and it just doesn't work out. And at the end, women are confused because this masculine, highly masculine world that we live in tells us, oh, you got to be independent. You got to make your own money. You got to pay 50-50 or better take care of your boyfriend. Like, no, God forbid that. Because then I don't know who that boyfriend is going to be, you know, but he's not going to feel as a man. And I mean, I don't judge people, but for me personally, that is just a no-go.
I've never understood it when girls say, oh, I don't care at all about if a guy's successful, because it's like, and I got in an argument with my mom the other day, actually, kind of about this, because on the guy's side, the equivalence of like success is like a girl that's very beautiful, right? So my mom is like from Wisconsin. She's very religious and conservative. She's like, Zach, you're in LA. You're always dating some like actress, model, these type of girls. And she's like, why don't you go for a girl with a great personality? And I'm like, okay, mom, so do you want me to go for uglier girls? She's like, no, not ugly, just like focus on personality. And I'm like, okay, so do there exist beautiful girls with great personalities? Of course. And then are there not so beautiful girls with great personalities? Of course I'm going to choose the beautiful girl with also the great personality. And I think it's similar for girls. Like, why not? There's successful guys with great personalities that you can connect with in XYZ. So if you're a beautiful girl, why wouldn't you want the guy who's successful and has a great personality? It doesn't have to be one or the other.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Ideally, you would want it all. You would want a very good looking guy that's young with a great personality and tons of money. And also he's going to be very generous and buy you everything and just treat you like a princess. Yeah, everyone wants that. Just the thing is, we live in this reality. So not all of this exists. And if there is a guy who is like that, then his ego is this big already because he has so many options, which I don't judge them because that's just what it is. Like, I mean, a pretty girl has a lot of options too. And then it comes to, okay, so what do men want in a relationship and what do women want? And I do believe that the initial motivation for a relationship or dating is a little bit different. So that's where the issues start.
Yeah. And the truth is you do have to be attracted to somebody. That is
for sure
part of the equation. You know what I mean? And it doesn't have to be physical attraction. It can be you're attracted to his confidence. You're attracted to the way he carries himself. You're attracted to his success. It can be something like that, but it's part of the equation.
You're talking about from a female's perspective or from a male's?
Females. I think guys, it has to be a looks category.
It's always physical.
Okay.
For sure.
You're like the only honest person that I've talked to on this podcast. I swear to God.
Yeah, I feel like
girls sometimes tell me they're like, no, you should not care about that and only care about personality. And I'm like,
for women?
Like for guys, like they're like,
yeah,
oh,
when
guys,
you look at a woman?
Yeah, in a woman.
Please.
And I'm like, it's biological. I can't.
Yeah, exactly.
The truth is, and this sounds bad, if there's like a girl who's ugly, no matter how great her personality is, I will be her best friend, whatever, we can go shopping together, whatever I'll be your gay best friend. I don't give a fuck. But we will never date. Like I can't do it. I just can't do it.
That's a reality. And that's a fact. That's how men are and that's how women are. And that's what I'm saying. All this, we are not equal. We've never been, we never will be. It's just not like this world, I feel like, tries to mold all of these things and just make us equal, but we're not. At the end of the day, I have my own theory why certain...
What's your theory?
Well, it's just population control, I think, at the end of the day, because...
Population control? Wait, explain. I'm curious.
Too many of us on this planet, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I like conspiracy theories and all types of theories, so yeah, I do think that at the end of the day, too many of us in this world and the resources of the planet are limited. That's a known fact. So why would, make us all healthy and stuff?
So you're thinking that the media is trying to fuck up relationships so less people have kids, essentially?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I do believe that, but again, it's my personal opinion. That's all. I'm not trying to convince anyone to do anything.
I mean, definitely birth rates have been going down. That's just scientific evidence.
Right.
Whether it's intentional or whether it's a byproduct of just kind of like woke culture and everything else that's going on, I'm not sure.
Right.
But it's an interesting dynamic. So then, do you typically go for guys who are very kind of like dominant and very masculine? Yeah,
I would say that's the ideal. Yeah, that's preferred for sure. I mean, you want a man to be a man. You want a man to initiate things. Every woman wants that. And girls who don't admit this, it's their own, this might sound crazy, but it's their childhood trauma, I think, that stops them from, like, it's this society that put these things on them, and convinced them that that's what they should believe and they should want a man that's, I don't know, can wash the floor sometimes too. And we need to live together before we're married and all that stuff. But really, it's, every woman wants an alpha male for sure. That's going to provide and protect and lead.
Yeah, it's interesting because if you watch any like teenage movie, they have like the little high school movies. The alpha male is always like captain of the football team, and they always turn him into an asshole. He's like the kid that like pushes like the wheelchair kid down the stairs. He's like a bully. He's like, they turn him into like the biggest asshole ever. Yeah. And then there's the nice little simp who rides his scooter and like puts his helmet on. And the hot girl in the movie is always dating the jock guy to start. And then she figures out, he's not the one for her. And then she goes to the little nice guy simp. And then I think really people think like, guys think like, oh, so if I'm just like the emotional, sensitive, scared little nice guy, then girls are just going to like me. And I'm like, no, that's not how like reality works.
No, that's sad. If that's the case, that's sad.
Yeah.
I definitely don't like it's okay for men to be emotional and sensitive. We all are human, I definitely accept it. And welcome it. Please be vulnerable. I think that's a good thing if a man can show that side of him. But no, a man is supposed to be a man.
Mm-hmm. I have a secret strategy for dealing with difficult emotions.
Oh, tell me.
So usually what I do is, you have any mirror, you can use any mirror, right? Bathroom mirror, bedroom mirror. You go in the mirror, you look yourself deep in the eyes, you take all your emotions, and then you stuff them deep down in your psyche, and then you man up and you fix the problem. It works every time.
It works, yeah. Do those like stuffed inside of your psyche, as you showed emotions, do they come out in any other way later, maybe, or some, I don't
know. Girls I date always say that I need to go to therapy, but but they're wrong.
So,
they're wrong.
Oh yeah, of course they are. Of course they are. Of course they are. Right.
I just think, I don't think therapy is good for guys in 99% of cases.
Ooh, I'm going to argue this point.
Ooh, now we're getting into the thick of it.
Yeah.
Okay, if you have real trauma,
yeah,
right? You went to war, you were in the Vietnam War, and like your best friend got shot next to you, and like, okay, that's real trauma. That's like PTSD. Okay, go to therapy. I understand that. But guys nowadays go to therapy because like, oh, my mom hugged me too tightly when I was a child, and now I have trauma. Oh, my mom put my sister's spelling test in the fridge. She didn't put my spelling test on my fridge. I have trauma now. And they go to this therapist that makes them feel better about their life and puts a Band-Aid on it. But then they never fix the underlying problem of what's causing them to feel these negative emotions.
Well, I think you just said it. The issue is not that therapy is bad for men. It's bad therapists out there. Right?
Maybe. What do you mean?
That put Band-Aid on something instead of actually helping the person to find out the real issue and the real root of the problem and try to work through those emotions, because there's probably something that happened in childhood, and it could be some very minimal and the person might not even remember it, that then piles up into all these issues in adult life. I do think that there can be not very good therapists out there. Mm-hmm. Or maybe the approach of that certain therapist just doesn't work for that person. Mm-hmm. And they need to switch. But the problem is I think you don't go to therapy in order to feel better. You go to therapy in order to find out the problem and help, like your therapist is supposed to help you dig through your past and find out the root and work through it, not just make you feel better about your life. That doesn't fix the problem. It's going to come back. So yeah, I think that's the issue. But I do think that therapy is good for men, for sure. We all need therapy. We all have issues. And we all born with the different levels. Like every person is different, right? Mm-hmm. We all born with different levels of sensitivity. To some person, as you said, what it was, the test that didn't put on the fridge and the sisters put, like for some person, I'll be like, okay, whatever. It's just going to stimulate me to do better the next time. So my test is going to be on the fridge. But for another person, that's going to be so deadly because they're sensitive. Seriously.
Deadly.
But it could be. And it could be. And that just, maybe the child is going through some other things at school. Maybe he's being bullied or something else is happening. So that's going to affect the child much more than the other child. Every child is different. And this is the parenting question, is like, how good are parents at seeing who their child is and knowing who their child is in order to like take the right steps.
And I did have very good parents. I got lucky with that.
That's good.
From the standpoint, but they were good because they weren't nice.
Oh.
Like well, my mom kind of is, but like my dad, I remember one time I was biking around town, fell off my bike, bruised my knee. I come in crying, Daddy, oh, my knee hurts, wah, wah, wah. And I remember he looked me in the eyes and he said, good thing you're tough. And he walked away.
I like that.
And anytime we would complain, oh, they're making fun of me at school, good thing you're tough. And it teaches you, like, nobody is coming to your rescue. Like, you're going to have difficulties in life. You're going to have things that are emotionally hard. And you're going to have to learn to deal with these emotions and fix problems, because that's what you're put on earth to do as a man. You have to figure this shit out. Mm-hmm. And I feel like so many guys get coddled, and You got last place in the basketball tournament. Oh, little Gen Z boo-boo. Are your feelings okay? Let's go ride bird scooters and talk about your feelings together.
Oh.
And I feel like these guys never had any trauma. So now, like, when they're 21 and like their girlfriend breaks their heart, they need like therapy for it. When it's like, okay, when you're younger, if you like are in a third world country where like nobody needs therapy for some reason, and you had to walk 5 miles to the local well.
Too many problems they have to solve daily. They don't have time to think about therapy, I think.
No, but I think it's because they've learned to deal with real trauma. So then when their girlfriend breaks up with them, it's like when I was 5, we didn't have running water. That was a real problem. My girlfriend breaking up with me is not a real problem.
Well, right. Because if
You know.
you like, say, if you have issues, financial issues, and your girlfriend breaks up with you, what are you going to think about first? Probably your financial issues and how to pay bills and stuff, and then your emotions and stuff. So I feel like this is just like, the priorities.
Yeah, the hierarchy of problems.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm worried if I go to therapy, they're going to take away too much of my trauma.
Oh, they're going to take away your toughness.
And then I'm just going to be happy all the time.
Oh, that's going to be an issue, huh?
It's going to be boring. Like,
Boring?
It's going to be like, wake up like, oh, it's a beautiful day. The birds are chirping.
What if you're going to start meditating? God forbid, huh?
Oh, I heard about this meditation thing.
Oh, how's that? What'd you hear?
The
Good
first
things,
time
hope?
I went to Mexico City, and it was my friend's birthday. This was like 5 years ago, before meditation was like cool and like popular. And she's like, Zach, when you get to the Airbnb, because they got there first, she's like, just walk in. I'll leave the door open. That way we don't have to deal with the keys and everything. So I get there. I open the gate. I'm like, yo, Vanessa. Nothing, right? And there's this walkway to the house, and the door to the house was like cracked open. And so I'm walking, I like creak the door open. I'm like, Vanessa? Nothing, silence, right? So I'm a little bit nervous. This is my first time in Mexico City. I've heard maybe it's dangerous, like I'm just like a gringo white boy. Like maybe they found out I was coming, they're trying to rob. I don't know what the fuck's going on, right? I was a little bit scared.
They knew you were coming.
And I'm creeping up, and I look around the corner, and it scared the shit out of me. There's just these 7 girls just sitting there staring at the wall like zombies. Like, in I'm Legend when he turns the flashlight on and the zombies are just all standing there? It was like that. I was like, Vanessa, what the And she's like, shh, we're meditating. And it's the first time I found out about meditation. And apparently you just stare at the wall for 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's exactly what you do. Just sit there and stare at the wall.
And she told me, you're not going to believe this. No. She went on a meditation retreat where she paid $2,000 to go to somebody else's house and stare at the wall for like 7 days straight. And to be fair, they'd go outside, like stare at a tree, and then like come inside, stare at the table. Like, they did a lot of different kinds of meditation.
Staring.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right. Oh, they could close their eyes, it's an option too. Well, it depends on what kind of meditation you do. Yeah. But yeah, you can stare at the fire, there's tons of options. Yeah, but no, I believe in meditation for sure.
Okay, I'm being a little bit funny right now. But I will say, when I have tried meditation, it makes my anxiety go higher.
Ooh, really?
Because every second I'm sitting there, I'm thinking about all the problems that I'm not solving right now and what I need to do, instead of like just getting it over with and like ripping the Band-Aid off. Okay, let's do the hard things to like solve the problem. You know what I mean?
Because you're thinking.
Yes.
You're not supposed to.
I know I'm trying not to, but then the thoughts come in. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, they come in, you acknowledge them and you let them go. You don't just sit in them and be
they come back. They're just fucking running around
up there. You acknowledge and let them go. And if they come back, you do the same thing. Eventually, they don't come back.
Maybe. I don't know. I had a tough time with it.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to start. I do believe it's hard to start. When I started meditating, I started with a candle. Like, you look at the fire and you just focus all of your attention at the fire. And you don't have to sit there for 30 minutes. You can just do it for like, I don't know, a few minutes a day or whatever works. And then I did that. I started that. And then I just did different like meta meditations and different meditations.
Which one works the best, do you think?
It depends. I like the meta meditation for sure.
What does that involve?
It's like just involves a certain way you hold your hands, and like it's you have to breathe a certain way. And yeah, I like guided meditations a lot. But I try to do it as much as possible.
Gotcha.
Definitely. Like new moon, full moon. I follow all of those things, yeah.
Interesting.
A little bit of a witch, so yeah.
Interesting. Have you ever cast a spell on somebody?
No, I don't do that.
Okay.
A very positive one.
One of my friends, he was like, there's this girl that had a crush on him. And then she was like, you're going to fall in love with me. And he's kind of like, no, I'm not. You know what I mean? Uh-huh. And then he did. And then like 6 months later, she like told him this whole story where she like put a love curse on, love spell on him, I guess, and like made him fall in love. And I was like, oh shit.
Ow. Yeah, that's bad karma, in my opinion. You're not supposed to like bend anyone's will or like bend anybody's faith. You can't do that. Yeah, well, you can do whatever you want. But
what kind of witchcraft do you do?
I don't really do witchcraft. I can do tarot reads.
Okay.
You know, I can tell you a few things. But
how much is tarot reading intuition versus like spirituality?
You know, I believe it is spirituality. Maybe some intuition. I think everyone is different because I've been to some people who like told me things and they did come true. It's just you get downloads from the field, and that's how you know things. Like cards are just tools that show you, right? It's really interesting. But I cannot, like scientifically, I cannot explain to you how I know things, but I know them. Sometimes I have dreams that mean things, and like I would tell the person if I had a dream about them because they usually mean something.
Interesting.
Or like I could have dreams that do come true later. Yeah.
And is this something you've worked on, or do you think you just have a gift for it? It's kind of natural.
I feel like I've always been like that. I just definitely worked, like as far as tarot cards, I've started doing that maybe 5 years ago or so. And I like learned myself. Tarot is really interesting because it combines astrology, psychology, and numerology in it, and all of those things that I'm interested in. So for me, it really makes sense. Like it's really easy for me to read the cards.
Do you think a large part of that comes from your ability to read people? And I say that because you seem to have a very good understanding of social dynamics and of psychology and the way people think.
Yeah, maybe partially it does. But if I gave you a read right now, I would just sit there and talk and talk and talk. I would not just be that person that's just like, and this means there's a woman coming to your life. And then look at your reaction. Is there a woman coming to your life? Oh, yeah, there is. Okay. And she is blonde. No, she's brunette. Oh, brunette. She's brunette. You know, no, like I just say things that I feel and I see. It's like I don't really use my psychology or people reading skills in order to like deliver that.
I see.
Information just comes. A lot of the times I don't remember whatever I said. Then.
Interesting. And have you predicted anybody's future?
Yeah.
Do you have any crazy stories where you're like...
I mean, I do it for some of my friends and I have a few clients. As far as like boyfriend stories, any like love, like relationship stuff, yeah, definitely. And some crazy things when it comes to like people who deal with other issues that's not relationship issues. It's like way worse and more serious stuff, definitely. And what I do like is that I am able to help people with that. It's not just because I believe that nothing is set in stone, right? Like nothing is just like, oh, this is exactly how it's going to happen. I believe that everything is like GPS, right? So say you're going to go from here to, I don't know, some location in Beverly Hills. There's 10 multiple or 20 or a million multiple routes you can take. That's going to take different time, but you still will get there at some point. So this is how life works. It's like if you're supposed to get to that location, you're going to get there. But the route you're going to take, it's only up to you. So there is a free will. I do believe in free will, but I also do believe in faith for sure. Like that it's just supposed to happen.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is that kind of sad to you from the standpoint of like you can do whatever you want, but you're going to end up in the same place.
I mean, we're all gonna die.
Well, yeah, I mean.
So eventually, so is it sad or is it not?
Unless Elon can save us. Figure it out, Elon. Help us live forever.
No, I actually don't think that would be fun.
I would. Are you kidding me?
What would you do if you lived forever?
Doesn't matter anything. Play video games and fucking jerk off all day.
You'll get tired of that too.
You could always find something to entertain you. You don't think so?
No, I think the value of life is because there is death. Because, there is no light without darkness. There is no good without bad. You need everything to compare, right? That's just like the base of philosophy and just base of life. So if you don't have death, do you value your life? No.
I've heard this theory before, and I still want to live forever.
Well, maybe a little longer is good, but
yeah.
I don't know.
Death doesn't scare you at all then?
What? Death?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I think as long as I'm living my purpose, I'm not going to die before my time.
I see.
But if I maybe take the wrong turn, hopefully I don't.
Yeah.
Then, yeah. And
manifestation kind of stuff.
Yeah, in a way. Because manifestation is what it is. It's bringing something from your mind into reality, right? Mm-hmm. So if you believe in different dimensions in this world, we live in the third. Well, according to different sources, there's different information, right? But I believe in certain things. So yeah, we live in the physical realm. So whatever you're wanting already exists. If it exists in your mind, it exists in a parallel universe, right? So when you manifest things, you just bring them from there to here. By, of course, making certain steps. A lot of the times in life, nothing just falls.
So how do you describe manifestation? In terms of what you actually do to bring about?
Like action-wise?
Yeah. Let's say you're I want to manifest something. How would you go about doing it?
Well, if I want to manifest something, I need to have a very clear idea what it is first.
Okay.
Right? I need to be very specific. And then I need to know why I want that. And I need to feel it. Most important thing is attach that physical item or something that I want happened to the feeling. And I need to meditate on it and live through it in my meditation, right? So I need to feel through that feeling of how I'm going to feel when it's going to come into my life. Mm-hmm. And that gratitude from that point of how I'm going to feel once I manifested that, I need to lift that gratitude, but at the same time, after, I need to let it go. And I need to let go of the need and want of having that thing, right? And then the actions that needed in order to receive it, they're going to come to me. And I'm going to do the actions if I feel called to it, or I'm just going to sit there. And a lot of the times that did happen. And things just happen.
Interesting. Well, what are some things you've manifested?
Well, I feel like my whole life, everything I have, that's the result of my manifestation. I moved here when I was 18 years old on kind of an accident. Didn't really think, but I always knew, since I was a teenager, that I want to live somewhere where there's where there's more opportunities and more life to it, And then it happened, and I moved. And
what do you mean it happened?
So I traveled with my parents to US a lot, right? When I was younger.
Yeah.
And then one of those times, my dad was like, well, we're going to be there for a while. We drove from New York to LA, right? That's how I ended up here.
Gotcha.
And we drove just wanting to see the States, just to explore. We were tourists. And I was like, well, if we're going to be in LA, I might as well take an acting class. Why not take an acting class? I did not pack 10 suitcases to move to US. I did not think I was still in school in Russia at the time. I was in college, right? So I took that 1-month course. And they were like, well, actually you have good talent and you're pretty and blah, blah, blah. And maybe you should, take a year course. And I'm like, maybe I should take a year course. Then I took a year course. And then I moved, and then I just stayed, and I'm still here, and it's been almost 12 years.
Damn.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I feel like I manifested it because without knowing it at the time, right? So I wanted a different life, and I wanted opportunities, and I just went for it, and I ended up somewhere where there is different life and there are tons of opportunities, right? But I didn't know that that's exactly what I wanted, so it just happened.
Interesting. I've never been able to manifest anything.
I'm sure you have, you just don't know it.
I mean, I have. When people describe manifestation, they describe two different things that I think are very different processes. One is, you think about it and then the universe drops a magical opportunity on your head and it works out, right? Mm-hmm. And the other is like, okay, I get motivated and then I do all the steps needed to achieve my goal and then I achieve my goal. Mm-hmm. I've done this kind of manifestation. This kind never works for me.
I mean, if you think about it, if you sit on your couch and not do anything, mm-hmm. chances that something is just going to fall on your head are very slight. I mean, unless
for hot girls, it works. I've seen it. This shit is crazy. One of my friends, she used to just watch Netflix all the day on the couch. And she was like, Zach, I've always wanted to go on a private jet. So she's like, Zach, I'm manifesting private jet. And she's like, all of a sudden in my DMs, hey, you want to go to Vegas on a private jet? She's like, I manifested it.
See, that's great. But she needed to be hot first.
Yeah,
she needed to have an Instagram where she shows that she's hot. Okay. Yeah. She needs to post certain type of content that shows that she's hot. Yeah, so then someone can DM her, hey, let's go to Vegas on a PJ.
Yeah.
So there's still steps.
But like, do you think if I sat on the couch and manifested a private jet all day, do you think it would happen to me eventually?
I mean, maybe there's some very rich lady that's just gonna DM you and be like, "Hey, you want to go?" I finally
get my sugar mama that I've been waiting for.
You've been waiting for it. So
that's hilarious.
If you want it enough and feel enough gratitude, and then let it go and be like, "I'm good without sugar mama," it just comes.
That's hilarious. I've never done the sugar daddy thing, but I did get accused of it one time.
Accused?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
There was so I'm from Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. There's no sugar daddies in Wisconsin. The guys are too broke. The girls are not attractive enough. It just doesn't happen, right? And they moved to LA, and it was very like a culture shock because it's very normalized. Like girls all the time talk about their sugar daddies. One of my best friends, she has like 8 sugar daddies. Like she needs like an assistant for her fucking sugar daddy. Okay. And it's like this one pays her rent. This sugar daddy like takes her on trips. This sugar daddy buys her purses. Like she has like, have you seen the Avengers? Mm-hmm. She has like all the infinity stones of like the sugar daddy. Like the most powerful sugar baby.
She should write a book.
She should.
She should.
And we're sitting around with my friends one time, and it's in front of all my friends, right? And she's like, Zach, you're a sugar daddy. And I'm like, what do you mean? And she's referring to the fact that like I was brought up very chivalrous. My dad is very old school. If you take a girl on a date, like I'm paying for it. Right? No splitsies, like none of this bullshit, right?
Good.
If we're walking on the sidewalk, I'm walking on the car side. So, if a car comes, I can stop the car with one hand, protect my girl with the other hand.
Perfect.
Man shit, right? Mm-hmm. So if I travel, and I travel a lot, and I'm going to whatever, Europe, Australia, Asia, I'm not making whoever I'm date like pay for the trip. Like, here, babe, here's the Venmo request for the Airbnb. Like, it would feel fucking weird to me, So like, of course I'm going to pay for the trip.
Yeah.
And then she told me, she's like, Zach, every guy pays for girls in some way. Some guys only pay for drinks, some guys dinner, sometimes trips, sometimes bags, sometimes rent. She's like, Zach, every guy's a sugar daddy. There's just high class and low class sugar daddies. And I was like, I was mad because I didn't have a good response at the time. And I was much smarter than her, so I should have like beat her in the argument, but she kind of beat me in front of my friends, so I was kind of upset about it.
Ow. I think the issue here is, that's funny, but the funny that happened too. But
Thanks.
But the issue is that at the end of the day, like when did we start calling it sugar daddy? Like that's what a man's supposed to do. There is no sugar daddy. A person who doesn't do it just shouldn't be able to date a girl, period. That's where this whole feminism
I agree and disagree.
Stuff comes in, to be honest.
I think intent is where it matters. So if I'm dating a girl and we like each other and we're vibing anyways, and then I'm like, hey, I'm going on a trip, I want you to come with, and I'm paying for it. To me, that's just a relationship.
Yeah.
And that I'm paying for things.
Yeah.
But to me, it becomes a sugar daddy when it's a girl you just met, you don't even know her barely. And then it's like, oh, here's a Louis Vuitton bag. Please like me. Here, if I give you enough bags, then you will like me. Then it becomes like a transactional, like sugar daddy scenario to me, where it's like, oh, you're buying her stuff to try to get you to like her instead of she already likes you. And then you're paying for things because you're the man in the relationship.
I mean, you try to get her stuff in order to buy her time, right?
See, I agree with like for dinner, for example, right? Dinner is an experience that we're sharing. So I understand paying for dinner. But to me, to buy a girl a purse, to buy her time, I don't like how
No. As a sugar daddy, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Right. As a sugar daddy, you buy her things because initially a man is like, okay, I'm not good enough to date that woman, so I'm just gonna, or I'm married, but I want to date that woman. Usually it's not anybody who's just like, okay, I really genuinely like you. It's not I'm just gonna sleep with you one time and that's about it, you know? Or multiple times, but I'm married and have 10 kids, you know? So it becomes transactional because it's dishonest initially, I think. As you said correctly, the intent matters because the intention of that man was not pure intention, right? It's not the intention to actually date the girl and make her happy and have a good relationship. It was to just use her. So she's using him right back, and she has all the right to do that.
I agree. I like saying all's fair in love and war. It's like, hey, this is the game.
Yeah.
Like so I come from Wisconsin, right? Wisconsin is everybody's nice and genuine, and when people say things, they mean them. They don't bullshit you. They don't lie. They don't try to make them seem like they're something they're not, right? And then moved to LA, which to me is like the hardest place to date in the world. It's like playing the video game on, video games is like the easy mode, medium, and advanced. And then there's like challenge mode, which is like the hardest. LA is like playing the game on challenge mode, right? There's like sugar daddies, there's like fake people, there's narcissists, right? But it's like, so when I first moved here, it would really piss me off when like girls would constantly like flake or like, set up multiple plans and then just go with whatever the best plan in the moment or whatever. Girls try to use you for your money. Girls try to blah, 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 like all this stuff, right? And then after a year of that, I realized it's not their problem. The problem is I'm trying to impart my own morals and my own values on people that don't share those same morals and values. And the reality is I just need to get better at playing the game.
But how do you know by just meeting the person what their morals are?
I read people very fast.
But what do you read it by? Like you looking at my Instagram, for example, you might think I have those morals that you need to buy me 10 bags in order to get a minute with me, But that's not really who I am. So
I have this rule. It's called the one chance rule. Everybody I meet for the first time. Okay, so here's a problem. On one extent, if you're always just like the Wisconsin boy who's just like bright-eyed to LA and like, oh, everybody's friendly, then you're going to get used and manipulated and people are going to take advantage of you, right? But on the flip side, if you're the cunning wolf who's always playing the game and you know how to win and you're doing the strategies, then you become jaded and vapid and you have these relationships that you never feel fulfilled because you don't have any genuine relationships and friendships in your life. So the only way I've figured out to combat that is I call it the one chance rule. I give everybody, when I first meet them, the benefit of the doubt. And I treat everybody like they're going to be my friend, like they're a genuine human being, and I'm going to treat them like a friend and a genuine human being. But if one time I feel like they're lying to me or trying to finesse me or they're trying to act like, oh, I know this celebrity, and then it's just like cringe. Okay, now I'm moving you to the category of you're playing the game. Cool. I'm not going to get mad about it. I'm just going to play the game too. Except I'm better at you than the game because I'm a chess master, so I will beat you at the game. It is what it is.
Yeah, and does that make you happy?
Yeah.
Yeah? Oh,
because
good.
I have plenty of genuine people,
Okay.
which I've met in LA, that I treat like genuine friends. I would do anything for them. I know they're not trying to f me over. It's not a transactional, I do this for you, so you do this for me. We're just friends. We're just genuine connections. And I met girls out there, same thing. And then the ones that are in this kind of like trying to get to the top and use anybody I can, I don't get mad at them. I'm just like, okay, you're kind of using me, so I'll use you. Just like you said, like the transaction relationships were like, okay, the sugar daddy guys are trying to like finesse girls. They're trying to finesse the guys, and it is what it is, you know?
Yeah, it's just that is the game for sure. Did you say you're friends with the girls? So do you believe that a man can be, a straight man can be a friend with a woman without being attracted to the woman?
100%. Actually, it's easier to be friends if you're not attracted to them.
Do you think the girl can be a friend with a man without being attracted?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I have a different opinion.
What's your opinion?
I don't believe in that. I believe that someone is always attracted to the other. It's actually like, if you read on it, psychology, it's a psychological fact. Well, a lot of people say, not all, but that, yeah, there is always a sexual attraction between people, right? So if it's a man and a woman, there is always that in there somewhere. Nothing might ever happen between them because I don't know, their morals or they're married or whatever the case may be, but there's still basically somebody's trying to sleep with somebody.
I see. So, okay, there's, I guess, let's say like 3 categories, right? So there's some girls that I know who are just I'm not attracted to. Now, maybe they're attracted to me, right? But then that might be true. But I'm friends with them because maybe they're friends with one of my friends, or like maybe they're like my girlfriend's friend or whatever, right? So we're all friends kind of thing. Then there's a second category of girls who like I'm attracted to, and I'm like, yeah, I would sleep with them given the chance. But I'm also fine not sleeping with them. Right? I'm like, if we don't sleep together, I'm not really a thirsty guy. Like, I went through my phase. I've been late enough in my life. I don't need to like, I have to sleep with you. Otherwise I'm going to get, because a lot of guys, it's like their friend zone, and then they make the move, they get rejected, and then they get all angry and butthurt because like they got rejected, right? And I think that's a stupid way to live life.
Yeah.
And then there's a category, and there's not that many girls in this category, but that we've just kind of been friends for so long, and we've told each other so much about our dating life and stuff like that, that they just feel like my sister. And it would feel weird for me to like, and I'm attracted to them like in a physical sense, I suppose. But like, I legit would not ever f these girls because it would feel weird if it feels like it's my sister, you know?
That's interesting. I've never heard a man say that before. That's interesting.
Yeah. But I do think this is one thing I disagree with, because I agree with most of your points, and you have the kind of more traditional view on things.
Yeah.
But I think having female friends is extremely important for guys.
Why is that?
So, okay, so we have parties all the time at the house, blah, 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 blah. And oftentimes, if a guy wants to come, and I don't know him that well, maybe I met him one time or something, I'm always like, come if you can bring girls. And people think that I do it because I want more chicks at my party, right? Which, okay, that's also good. That's a
exactly. Women are just currency in LA.
They are kind of
beautiful women.
But more importantly than that, what I realized is, if a guy is unable to bring even one girl to a party, it means there's something with his psychology that he either makes girls uncomfortable, or he's aggressive towards girls, or he's creepy, or he's annoying, or he's awkward. And I don't want him to come to party and then girls that I've invited that trust me and trust the people that I bring into my circle, and then say, oh, dude, like, every time I come to your party, there's all these like weird dudes there. You know what I mean? So it's almost like a test. It's like, if you can't bring girls, it's like, why not? What's wrong with your social intelligence?
How about he can just pay some girls to come with him?
I mean, I suppose he could, yeah. But like most guys aren't going to do that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a good point. I can see that.
But I also think that having female friends helps you a lot, especially in LA. Like, if I want to go to a party and they're like, oh, you need girls to get in, okay, I'll just like hit up some of my like friends.
Oh yeah, for sure. In that case, definitely.
Yeah.
It will definitely help you for sure.
So you don't have any male friends that you just...
I do.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But did I say they're not interested in me?
I did
not say that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's fair. I mean, there is a level of like, they would if they could, but you can still be friends. You know what I mean?
Of course. No, I don't argue the fact that you can definitely be friends.
I see.
But I don't know what, like, I do believe there's always something, for sure,
Interesting.
between people.
What about female friends? Do you find it difficult or easy to make female friends in Los Angeles?
Not that easy. Definitely hard. Yeah. And everyone, well, not everyone, not 100% people, I do want to believe that, here are very shallow, I think is the word. But yeah, it's a lot of the times I find it hard to connect with people on a deeper level. So probably my deeper level friends and my deeper level people are still from home, back home. Well, of course, like the mentality is closer, right, to mine. The interest maybe, but not so much because I live here. But here, it's still like how it is, like very opportunistic culture when it comes to dating. Like it's opportunity based, right? Like, what do you do for me? Kind of thing. I think it's the same with friendships. It's like, okay, what can you do for me? It's like the first question they ask you is like, what do you do? It's like, I do what I can, So yeah, I think it's like that with women too.
Yeah, it's interesting. So the first like very beautiful girl I dated when I was 25 years old. Before that, I'd always assumed, coming from Wisconsin, oh, you're a hot girl in LA. Your life is easy. You get all these opportunities, free drinks, free dinners, free trips, blah, blah, blah. But then I'd never realized until I actually started dating a girl and I started seeing what her life was like. And I realized, yeah, you get opportunities, but with every opportunity comes some kind of invisible strings attached.
Yeah.
Right.
A bill always comes in one way or another. And I do believe, I actually really don't like when people, well, for me personally, right? I really don't like when people are saying, oh, you're pretty, things are just given to you. No, they're not. And in fact, some things are way worse for me because I'm pretty, or any other pretty girl probably would say the same thing, than for a girl maybe who's not that attractive. Because if you're more attractive, I feel like people ask you for more, and there is more things like inquired from you in a way. You know what I mean? And it's more pressure because, I don't know, the most beautiful girls I've met are the most insecure ones. Me including. I have good self-esteem. I want to believe that. But I definitely have my own insecurities, and all people do. Everyone does. And someone who says I have no insecurities is definitely lying, because that's just normal.
Those are the most insecure people.
Exactly, yeah. So I believe that being beautiful is actually a lot of pressure. Yeah.
And I think also it's difficult to know what girls are your friends and what girls are secretly jealous of you behind your back. And 100%. The guy that they had a crush on was talking to you the whole night because they found you attractive. And then they have this harboring resentment toward you. And they'll never say it because that they're non-confrontational, but they'll just kind of like subtly poke at you.
For sure. 100%. They'll never say it. They'll just use you if they could. And then as far as men, being beautiful, yeah, it gets you in the door. It gets you, like, men interested in you. But they never, very small chance they actually get to know you, because they just can't. They can't even focus. They cannot even register one word I'm saying at dinner. They're just, that's it.
You're just distracting them with your beauty or what?
I mean, I don't know how that really works, I assume. But usually people don't get to like try to get to know you as a person.
It is, and especially in LA where it's not seen as a priority.
Definitely not.
Yeah. And I will say some of this I do put on girls when I know a lot of girls who they will be at a party with their real friends having real genuine fun. And then they get a text from a promoter that there's another party and Soulja Boy's going to be there.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, Soulja Boy hasn't been relevant since 2006. Like he's...
Oh no.
And then half the time they go to the party and the promoter was lying to just get them to come and Soulja Boy's not even showing up. And like you just left an actual genuine connection to go like chase some level of like fake status. And now what do you get out of it? Nothing.
Yeah, to do what? Like to what's going to happen from being at a party with someone?
And that's the crazy part.
I never understood that.
Girls always say, because I've asked girls the same question. They always say networking, right, as their thing. But I'm always like, Like, you're not even in the music industry. Why do you need to connect with the musician? Like,
right. What kind of jobs are you going to get from that networking?
The truth of what it is, this is what I truly believe, is everything from high school is the same now. And everybody just wants to be, I'm the cool kid. I got invited to the cool party. You didn't. I'm cooler than you. Nana nana boo boo. Stick your head in doo doo. It's all like immature shit. It's all like back in like fucking middle school type of shit. That's what I really believe.
I've seen that before for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I've definitely seen that. I mean, it is what it is. People, everything is a choice, you know? And what you're not changing, you're choosing to. So everything is a choice. And if someone chooses to go to party with, I don't know, some famous people just to say, oh, I've been stood next to, I don't know, Drake. I don't know what that does for them, but I could never really understand that. But maybe because I'm not from here, I don't know. I don't judge them. They can do whatever they want. But I wouldn't do that.
And there's always some video where they're like zoomed into like 5x to try to make it seem like they're close to the celebrity when they're like way the fuck back there.
True.
And we're like, we can tell you zoomed in. It's so obvious. But it's just like, I don't know. It just doesn't matter.
Yeah, I feel like maybe it happens to people who just move here. You know, I can see that more. So like if the person is from another country or somewhere like super far and they never had access to anything, and then they come here and there's like, oh, the Kardashians are there and like everything is just like right there. For me, it's not as exciting because I've seen them before. Like they're people, you know. If they were aliens now, I'd be really interested.
Here we go.
And that would be it. If somebody was like, hey, there's an alien ship just landed in Hollywood Hills, come, I would be there first because I really want to meet them. But that...
Let me know. Text me if you find that.
Oh, for sure. I will. Definitely. Yeah, it's very exciting. What? Aliens? I would get up, get out of my bed, get ready. Perfect. I'm there.
All right, Anastasia. Well, we're about out of time. I got some rapid fire questions for you at the end. What is your favorite food?
Pasta. Really bad for you, but really good.
Have you been to El Pastillo?
Yeah, love El Pastillo.
You like the Justin Bieber pasta? You had that one?
I've
like
never had that one. I can't have dairy, so certain things I can't have. Sauce. Yeah, I can't do.
Favorite first date spot or activity?
Ooh, I mean dinner just to be safe, you know.
Normal shit.
Normal, I prefer because people can be very weird, and you never know until you just talk to them. Yeah. So yeah,
you go on a hike or something, then you end up on one of those shows. She's been gone for 48 hours.
No,
we can't find the body.
I do not want that to ever happen to anybody I know or me or anyone at all. So no. Yeah. Public place.
Gotcha. Next travel destination you haven't been to that you want to go to?
I have never been to Bali. Really want to go to Bali. I really want to touch an elephant.
Like hot girl, the first place hot girls go is like Bali and Tulum.
That's so funny. You know what's funny? I've never been to either those places, but I've been to a bunch of other more exciting places than that, I think. But yeah, I really want to touch an elephant. I think they're magical. And yeah, I've never touched one.
You're supposed to be really smart too.
Who, elephants?
Yeah.
Yeah, and remember everything.
I remember.
Yeah, I can't wait to meet them.
Awesome. Well, this has been fun, Anastasia. Where can people find you if they want to reach out? Any Instagram or anything you want to give a shout out to?
My Instagram is Anastasia Supernova. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Well, we'll have to do round 2 sometime.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Thanks for listening.